The easiest way to get a stereo guitar rig used to be to go digital and have 2 digital amps. It's portable, it sounds good, but if you're a bit like me, you're not really into digital amps, the other option was to carry 2 amps around. So it's heavy, it's cumbersome, and you know, I love stereo sounds, but I'm not gonna carry 2 amps around. Milkman has released the amp stereo, which is basically 2 of his amps in one enclosure. And this is an analog amp. It's not a tube amp, of course, but through a cab, this sounds amazing. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys a couple of possible use scenarios with this amp, because it's stereo. And if you add another amp, you can go wet, dry, wet. But first, a little bit more about this amp. You have stereo inputs left and right, stereo balanced out left and right, and speaker out left and right. So that's 2 separate channels. On the front you have a master volume and volume, treble and bass for the left and right channels. You can use this foot switch to sum the stereo signal to mono, so both left and right get the same signal, and there is a switch to change the phase, which is super useful if you're using stereo amps. There's also a passive cab sim, which you can turn on and off with this little switch here. It's not the best cab sim in the world. It's just basically it's like a passive EQ. It works and it's great for practicing. I wouldn't use that in a live situation though, or for recording. This amp is really made to be played through a cab, and it sounds absolutely killer through a cab. So what I wanted to do for this video is attach the Milkman to 2 2x12 cabs, and for the wet, dry, wet stuff, have the Silktone amp provide the dry signal, and then there would be wet, wet on the Milkman. That is something that I simply cannot do at home because it's too big and volume. So I went to my good friend Frizo's place. He has a garage and he does rim repair. So I was able to build the rig there, shoot there. So thank you, Frizo, for letting me use your garage for this video. And yeah, if you ever need rim repair in the Netherlands, go check him out. He does awesome stuff. And I built a board especially for this video with some very cool stereo pedals on it. The Boss DM101 analog stereo delay, the new Walrus Audio Monumental Harmonic Tremolo, also stereo, and the Alexander pedal Space Force, which is a stereo reverb. And it's going to have the Brown Carbon X, ZVEX 59 sound. I'm going to put like text in the video so you know what pedals I'm using at that moment. Now, like I said, I'm aware that the rig I built is huge and cumbersome, but you know, if you're gonna pair this with 2 1x12 cabs, it's gonna be a lot more portable and you're gonna have really, really, really good tone without going digital. Now, let's start with the first bit. This is what one channel of the Milkman sounds like in mono. So now we're going to listen to wet, dry with the Milkman only. The pedal board is sending out two signals, one dry, one wet. Dry means only the drive pedals, wet means all the pedals, including the modulation, delay and reverb. And one channel is going to get the dry signal and the other one is going to get the wet signal. And it sounds like this. Alright, now we're going to go into full stereo. Both channels, left and right, are getting left and right signals from the pedal board. Alright, and the last one. This is wet, dry, wet, which means you have wet in the left, dry in the center, wet on the right. The Milkman is going to provide the wet channel, so what you're going to hear is a dry signal from the silk tone blended together with the wet left and right from the Milkman. In your headphones it sounds really cool, but sitting in a room with that setup, it's perfection. So is the Milkman stereo amp just as portable as a digital solution? No, it's not, because the cab sim isn't really that good. You need to pair it with cabs if you want it to sound at its best. But if you don't mind pairing it with a cab sim, pair it with the cab sim, and then you have the same portability as a digital solution, but you'll have an amp that feels and reacts like a real amp. So, go check it out. I absolutely love this. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and subscribe to the channel, because it helps to grow the channel and I can do more stuff like this. And see you next time. Bye.